Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome back to Slay the Princess. Previously we got the Damsel and Stranger routes completed, and now we're on our way to do the Witch route of the game, and possibly slay the princess. So here's a small thing, because we locked in the Damsel route and everything, we can't warn her anymore. So, once you absorb a route, that's it, it blocks it off.
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
Let's do this.
You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time?
No, I already, got you out once.
I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world.
How about a route where we live?
It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Hey, wait a minute.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Deja vu. I know I've been here before. Okay, no.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
You were, I remember you were in the one route, right? You're pretty slick. Let's assume we're telling the truth and all this really did happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We were just weighing our options in a morally ambiguous situation. You can't blame us for weighing our options. I can if you failed to slay the princess, which you apparently did. So great, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
What is time?
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
What is death?
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
What is the end of everyone and everything?
That's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble, and if you think about it, actually slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we?
Interesting enough, his tone for the opportunist and the narrator was exactly the same right here.
You're laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest opinions. What matters is that almost everyone seems to be on the same page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further.
She will lie, cheat, steal, whatever, yada yada.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Don't worry, I think we've taken that lesson to heart at this point. You can trust us to get the job done.
Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I think it feels a little comfy in here.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I've always wanted to live in a bramble castle. It really gets the goth appeal going, you know what I mean? Really gets that whole, like, man, I feel like cursing some kingdoms right now feeling. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the muddy shelf, the blade sitting on the muddy shelf, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror, but he says there isn't one. That's got to count for something, right?
You're sure you're not the narrator? This is the only option you should ever choose.
Oh, I'm sure we look great. If only there was some sort of reflective surface we could examine. Absolute shame there isn't anything like that around here. You do see it, right? I don't know how to read you. I see all sorts of things. But do you see the mirror? It's a simple yes or no question. Help me out here, will you? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
I guess the opportunist just sucks up to whoever seems to have the power at the moment. So right now it's a narrator, so like they're basically the same. Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. Well, at least we can all agree now that there's nothing to see here. Case closed. Good work, everyone.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea.
This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Who comes to be part of my witch's brew?
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
Oh, that's fine. We can deal with the biting. I'm not nasty. Hello.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
See? She knows us. Is this enough for you to believe what we've been saying? Maybe, but you shouldn't let that cloud your judgment. She's just a princess. As long as you remember that and remain focused, slaying her will be easy. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions?
See, look. Now the princess is the bigger fish.
Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk?
We've been hearing myself talk for a long time.
You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess,
Towel
not
drop.
endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
I find your voice kind of attractive this time around in particular.
That's no fair.
She's doing like a little
How would
cat
you
face.
know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
Look at it, she's literally like an anime emoji.
Good.
She's acting like she already knows you. I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. You fought us on it back in the woods. That was when the only perspectives we had were yours and mine. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy.
Yes, perhaps. Let's chat her up.
Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
You being in my head makes things real difficult, I'm just gonna say.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Meow. I'm sorry about last time. Look, I made a mistake. What are these other options? Well, there's a lot of choices. What? Give her the blade. Leave her in the basement. I'm going to attack you now. There's two intentions like variations of Slay the Princess. I'm sorry about last time.
Ooh, smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster.
Bark.
If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it.
Yan. Don't worry, the blade isn't for you, or not for killing you. We've got to get you out somehow, right?
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
I get the sense you're not happy with me.
Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that.
Look, I know, things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than both of us at work. We should team up.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
No, there could be money involved at some point, narrator. Think about it. Or she'll just destroy the world. But there could be money before that. What I have a nagging feeling you're going to stab me in the back if I help you out of here.
And why would I do such a thing? Is someone's guilty conscience getting to them?
Oops.
But I wouldn't worry. As much as I may hate you, letting you live is in my best interests. If you get me out of here, the only thing that will be dead and buried is the bad blood between us.
I keep imagining you should be saying like Neander meow, and I somehow like subtly hear it when you say things, even though you're not. I like the one line where it's in my head when I heard her say it. It was just like, if you get me out of here, out.
Oh, that nagging feeling you mentioned is me, by the way. I'm actually a little anxious about a potential backstabbing event. She needs us to get out of here. We'll be fine if that's what we decide to do. You won't be fine because destruction is in her nature. If she gets out of here, that's it for the world, remember? Even if that's true, that doesn't automatically mean she's going to stab us in the back.
She might.
I think that depends on your definition of words like stab and in the back. She might not literally do that, but she could very well symbolically do the same thing. See? He gets it. There's nothing wrong with looking out for number one.
Okay, so now we have the actual options. Give her the blade, leave her in the basement, slay, and slay. I guess we'll go down in order. Leave with the princess.
Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
What are you, a cat?
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us.
She kind of reminds me of like an 80s anime like Cat Girl. Or like there was some in 90s too, yeah.
It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her. We're armed and she's not. What's she gonna do? Bite us when we're not looking? You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
Clearly there's some broken trust here. Whatever gave you this, give her the blade. Step on the stairs. I suppose we'll go on the stairs first, sure.
That's right, you're the one who's going first. Don't worry, I'll be right behind you watching every single thing you do.
Man, you don't have a ring yet and you're ordering around.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. You step onto the stairs and begin your ascent from the basement. The princess follows close on your heels, perhaps even a little closer than you'd like. You're only saying that because you want us to feel nervous. You want us to turn around and kill her. I do want those things, but I want them for a good reason. I don't need you to trust me for my sake, because I already know that I'm right. This is for you. Can we walk backwards up the stairs? I think that's the smarter idea. She can't sneak in and attack if we're facing her.
Yeah, just walk backwards.
No. The stairs are a bunch of overgrown roots. You'll trip and hurt yourself.
You know what's the biggest killer in America? Stairs.
But
She gets
the princess
witches?
is
No,
silent
stairs.
as you both continue the climb, and in no time at all, the upstairs of the cabin is within reach. Isn't that a relief? We're fine. Nothing happened. You're not even going to wait until you're through that door to proudly claim your victory, are you? Why did you just say that? I think we know why. You feel something dig into your shoulder, sharp and piercing. The princess clawing at you and pulling you down with her full weight. Together you tumble back down the uneven stairs, your body and hers crashing against the unyielding wooden roots, until finally you both separate with a bone-shaking thud against the basement floor. You feel something pop.
I feel like you're behind this somehow, narrator.
The princess lands against the far wall, gasping as she struggles to recover from the impact.
I got an achievement called the Frog. It was in her nature. Why did you knock me down the stairs, lol? I don't know, Lamal.
You're still in shock, trying to get a hold of yourself. She grins as you continue to remain exactly where you are, cackling derisively as she watches you realise that you won't be getting up. Wait, why won't we be getting up? I'm afraid your back is broken. One unlucky fall is all it takes, really, and you had several. You know what? I'll say it. That sucks. I don't like having a broken back.
Yeah, it kinda sucks.
We were going to help her. Why? Why did she do that? It's what I would have done. Have you considered not being like that? Of course not. It's what keeps us alive.
Said the Scorpion.
And yet here we are, paralysed and stuck with someone who hates us in the basement of a remote cabin.
You must have known this was coming. The arrogance of turning your back to me after everything you've done.
I can't get back up. You broke my back. There's something so, like, dry and sad about that. What was that for? I was trying to help you out here. We were never getting up those stairs, were we? We could have gone out if we just trusted each other. Let's do this one.
The princess lets out a mocking laugh.
By our very natures, only one of us could make it upstairs unscathed. Someone had to make the first move. Better me than you.
See, this is why I wanted her to go first. I had this whole little scheme planned where she'd turn her back on us and I'd say, "Now stab her in the back! Do it now!" And then you'd say something like, "Wow, that's an amazing idea that I never saw coming. Thanks for looking out for us." And then you would have done it and we wouldn't be stuck down here with a broken back. Why didn't you tell us your plan before we agreed to go first? Because then you'd have had to lie to her. And you're a terrible liar.
It's true.
That's not... Okay, that's actually a good point. It would have been a good point if it had actually worked. But it didn't work, did it? Well, it's not my fault that nobody listened to me. The princess's body twitches as she tries to get up. Ho ho ho! So she's got it as bad as us.
I guess we're broken back buddies. Looks like we're both sinking down the river.
Something inside me is broken. Isn't that a cruel twist of the knife? Isn't that so funny?
She eyes you with intensity, silence falling between you for a long moment as her gaze travels up and down your battered form.
Seems I'm not the only one, though.
Wait, are we both just stuck here?
Yep.
Certainly seems that way. What a way to go. But look on the bright side. In all this chaos, you may have actually managed to deliver a lethal wound. The world could be saved after all.
We're going to die together. Isn't that a lovely treat? I wonder how long it'll take. Maybe I'll get to watch the worms lick your bones clean.
Is that really what's going to happen now?
No, I think a bunch of hands are supposed to grab us.
Hello? Are you still there? What happens next?
He doesn't respond.
I think he's gone.
Something strange is twisting this place out of shape. I wasn't feeling much of anything, but now I feel cold.
But you don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
Skip ahead.
And there's that...
Of course, you're scared, but this is the end. It's not the end for me.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
You approach the mirror, gazing your reflection. Silence as you reach forward, they're gone once again. The mirror always makes me leave, we need to see what's in it. Whoa. You've unraveled. We're mummifying now. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. See to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
So we'll go for all this dialogue, and then obviously we'll go for the other routes, and then see how she reacts to those vessels. Kinda like the other ones. Do you think there are people out there?
It doesn't matter if there are. People are too small for us. You and I are the only things that interest me.
Do you think that anything out is real out there? Do you think that we're real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Do you have thoughts on this vessel?
This one is hope, marred by bitterness. She could see the end of the tunnel, and the door was closed on her. She will make for a righteous and weathered heart. Do not mourn her. She is finally on the other side.
Do you know what's gonna happen when you awaken?
If I did, I would already be awake.
When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me. One of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels have one?
No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does. I don't know why, but I know this for a fact. He does. I don't know what I'm going to do when I find him. He does. When I find him, you and I are finally going to have answers. I find I'm going to kill him. Let's do this one, answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
If this is the last time, is there anything you would like me to bring you?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
This is the last stage before cure completion. I'm not going back. I'm just going to stay here.
You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. I'll wait with you.
Wait.
I will see you when you return. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage. You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine. You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
So the game crashed. I'm ready to go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark, and you die. An untrusting vessel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
I don't want to hurt you, but clearly there's some broken trust. Take this as a gesture of my goodwill. Give her the blade.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no.
She has claws.
As do I. I, abstain?
Well, I'm in charge in here, I think.
You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
This isn't democracy. We're getting rid of the blade.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
Love.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
Love. That's up to you. That's why I gave you the blade. I chose last time and I regret it, so now it's your time to choose. We're both scared and we're both hurting. If one of us doesn't make a change, we'll probably kill each other forever. Do you want that? I don't. We can be better than this. You're beautiful. I want to actually save you, and this feels like the only way to do it. If you're like someone I know, you're probably going to kill me. I'll do... Let's do this one.
Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work on me.
And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
That's alright. I forgive you, I think. Also, I'm dying.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
Simp.
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Blarg. Chapter Triple, The Thorn.
You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us.
The woods are looking a little bit empty nowadays.
I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it. Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future.
Hello, Smitten. Nice to see you again.
Ho ho! A visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper.
You know, he's actually right.
I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to? Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love. She hates us, does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. There might just be a kernel of affection in that angry, angry heart.
And perhaps we can plant that kernel to grow a fine... plant.
As ridiculous as this guy is, maybe he has a point. I don't know if I necessarily buy into his whole love journey thing, but maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom. Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually.
Yeah, what he said.
Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. You already know about the princess, and clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through.
This place is different. It keeps changing. We're going to free her. Screw the rules. What happens if we just leave?
Wonderful. If the woods themselves are changing, then that's all the more reason for you to take this seriously. It would mean your grip on things is slipping, which, in turn, likely means her influence is spreading. Someone's in the know. I've already said too much. The more information you have, the more difficult your task will be. Don't listen to her, definitely don't free her, and if you can, don't even think about her. You don't have to worry about me. My head's always empty. Except for thoughts of her.
We're going to free her.
Please don't.
Please, yes.
You can't stop all of us, you villain. Let's just see how the wind blows. I'm not opposed to saving her, but let's not rule anything out just yet. Let's see what she has to say. Stop sitting on the fence and pick a side already. We don't need you waffling when things get hairy. I've already picked a side. Our side. I'm here to make sure that whatever happens, we wind up on top. Because that's worked out great so far. Well, we're not out of the game yet, are we? And again, I'll have you know, I wouldn't have gotten us killed last time. I wanted to stab her in the back, not hand over our precious backstabbing implement.
Screw the Captain. What happens if we just leave?
She gets out is what happens. Maybe not right away, but eventually. And a world that's doomed tomorrow is just as bad as a world that's doomed today.
That sounds just like our world.
He's a bummer, isn't he? All doom this and doom that. There's more to the world than how and when it will end. Love is what makes everything worth doing. Whatever you do, don't listen to this one. He's ridiculous. Whatever he wants you to do the opposite.
You sure seem to be taking the whole looping thing in stride.
What do you want me to say? It's bad that you've been here before. It's bad for you, it's bad for me, and it's especially bad for the world. The more times you run through this, the more likely it is that you'll fail. You've already failed twice.
Even more if you count the other routes.
So you knew this could happen? Theoretically, sure, I knew this could happen, but I was supposed to be the first. I'd really rather not get into it. I don't care about where we came from, and I don't care to discuss the theory of anything. I yearn only to bring her freedom. I'm here to feel, not to think. Then we can all move on, and forget what I said about failure. It's important that you believe in yourself, and the fact you're here probably means that you still have a chance to pull this off and save the world. My world, at least. Sounds like you've probably doomed a couple of others already.
This world seems kind of bad, actually. I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
I need to stop talking. Think happy thoughts.
No matter what happens next, it seems like all our answers are in the cabin. Let's see this through.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one, too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. You know what you have to do.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned-out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right? There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
There is no blade when it comes to love.
We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here. And if she has it, let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work. If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers. Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side.
Perhaps we should pick a flower before going in. How do we even get down there? The only thing I see is that mirror.
You're right, the mirror is back. There isn't anywhere for us to go, but there isn't a mirror. I still don't get his angle here. Either way, I say we take a look. It feels like it's been forever since we've actually seen ourselves. For all we know, our feathers are all out of place, and that's why we haven't yet won her heart. We must put our best face forward. Yeah, we can't go around looking disheveled. A real go-getter takes care of his appearance. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it?
Approach the mirror.
You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent. You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features.
Caw!
It went away when we touched it last time.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. You really thought there was a mirror there, didn't you? That can't be good. As if things weren't unpredictable enough. Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us.
Enter the basement.
You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you.
We really did go down a ramble route.
Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved. These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help. Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back.
Sup?
I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
Love. I want to figure out a way to out of here for good. I don't really know what I want. I want to free you. I mean it.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
Proceed down the stairs.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
Yeah, I'm here to laugh. What do you think happened after you killed me? Think I wouldn't hold it against you? I'm not here to laugh. I'm here to free you if you'll let me. I can cut you free, but you'll have to give me the blade. Reach for the blade. You're in a prison of your own making. I broke our cycle of violence. If you still want to wallow in it, be my guest. Turn and leave. Wow. I guess I don't have anything left to say to you. Turn and leave. Fine, if you're going to be like that, I'm going to leave. Have a nice life. Turn and leave. I'm not here to laugh. I'm here to free you if you'll let me.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
You're not the only one who yearns for freedom. I'm trapped as you are. Maybe we need to leave together. There's nothing I can say to change your mind.
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own. We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion.
Oh, I accidentally skipped on that one. Try this one here.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us, but it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me,
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
and I've also hurt you.
Can I take the blade now? Then I use time for either of us to say anything only counts as action.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms. She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter? Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her. We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings.
I just noticed that she literally has a crown of thorns.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her. Right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him. I see that the lines have been drawn. It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2.
Are you one of us, or...?
You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, man, these are so bad. We'll come back to these. Cut her free.
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her? You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion. That's right. What he said. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her. And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm.
You sound quite pained there, narrator.
And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade. Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip. You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
Wait till you have to describe our honeymoon.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her! Kiss her now before the moment ends!
Yes.
Can we actually do that? No, you can't. Absolutely not.
Shut up and start narrating it, narrator.
You know as well as I do that we can. And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we? If I were only capable of throwing myself off a bridge. Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss? You lean in, and you kiss her.
A little more passion to it.
And she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now?
Come on now.
Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that.
It sometimes happens when I say the same thing as the character in the next moment.
Ugh, fine. You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion. Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection. Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now.
Yeah, go on.
It doesn't matter either way, because this is good stuff. I'm aware of my skills. He's making fun of us. But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
I damn the whole world to oblivion. As long as I can be with you.
That was nice.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out.
Hey, I learned a trick on some other routes. Here I goes. Thorns, get the hell out of here.
Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade. We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
Step into the thorns.
As you step into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield.
Yeah, that's right. Bow down. Kneel.
Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this?
I don't know. Don't care.
Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving.
What he said.
We'll weave something new together. Something better. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Me too. Step into your freedom.
Hands clasped, the two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
At least we look good.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
You not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Henry returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Of course you're scared.
What is that supposed to mean? You better watch your back. You can't get rid of me that easy. Do it then. End us all before I die of a broken heart.
Approach the mirror. Skip. You're at the cabin. Approach her.
There's a world beyond
Ouch.
the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Do you have thoughts in this vessel?
This one yearns for connection she feels she doesn't deserve. Even when shown compassion, she hid herself away. She will make for a cautious heart. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore.
Okay, so that's the uniqueness of this route.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Same. Everything goes dark and you die. A Forney vessel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
So basically this route, this is the save that's going to be locked in for when we'll go for the ending. But, as I said, if we get one more vessel, it's going to kick the end game in. So from this point on, when you see me get another vessel or something, you're not going to see, like, aside from like, oh, what's your opinion on this vessel or whatever, that's the only thing you're going to see. Because we're going to be repeating that vessel dialogue over and over again. Because for us to do this, we have to go back to an older save and yada yada, and then just keep hitting each route, bailing out, reloading, hit new route, reload. Until we find one route, the last one we leave, to finally complete and lock in and get the final ending. I'm gonna have a... Okay, fine. Slay the princess.
Oh, you scoundrel.
You scoundrel.
Why? We finally gained her trust. That took a lot of work.
Even everyone else is confused.
Sorry, boys. Looks like we've got our tiebreaker. Blade safely in hand, you turn it on the princess and drive it towards her heart.
God, that's suffering.
But her thistled prison proves to be an impossible obstacle, its thorns digging deeper and deeper into your flesh the closer you come to striking the fatal blow. Ha! We're not going to make it. This is what we deserve. Better we trap ourselves in this eternal moment than have her blood on our hands. We still managed to get our romantic end, in a way. The tip of your blade only manages to touch her sternum before it stops moving entirely. A single drop of blood trickles down her chest as the two of you stare into each other's eyes.
I just got trust issues.
Come on, just push a little further. But you can't, can you?
And then the hand's gonna come in and grab her.
I knew this was coming. I can't believe I ever let myself hope for better. This was always going to be us, wasn't it?
You look pretty good at that one final moment. You not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns. Turn and leave.
Do you really think you can just wash your hands of all of this? Do you really think you can just leave me here?
I just got abandonment.
This is even better than stabbing her. The same reward without any of that nasty effort. It's not even better. Putting off a choice is always worse than making a committed decision, especially when you already know the right answer. It's even more cruel if you ask me. Leaving an incredible soul like hers to languish forever in pain and alone. How can we bear to live with the guilt? We'll live with it just fine. Besides, she'll get over it. That's what I'm afraid of.
But in your commitment to leaving things unresolved, you'll have no chance of resolution. Or will you ever? It's time to leave. Memory returns. Alright, we're way back here. Leave her in the basement?
Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then. Run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan, seemingly uttered by the walls themselves, followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits. The cabin starts to get smaller.
Oh no.
What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on. As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you, instinct kicks in, and you bolt upstairs.
Got an achievement playing it safe.
The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you. The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller and smaller. That's fine, we'll just leave. I'm sure you'd like to do that. But unfortunately, there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What little light peeks through the holes that were once windows is growing weaker as the cabin continues to close in on itself.
Uh-oh.
Shit. What do we do? As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
What about you? They'll crush you just as easily as they'll crush me.
As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to hear it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me.
Oh yeah, she would.
See? This is exactly why you were tasked to slay her, and why you shouldn't have left her in the basement. She's an antisocial monster who'll gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction. The roots grow ever closer. We know. We can see them.
Make them stop. You can make them stop, right?
I could, but as I already made it so clear, I don't want to.
You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cabin. An unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time. Shit. What do we do? What do we do?
Come on, they're pressing on me. They're probably pressing on you too. I'm only saying that because I can't see you, but it sure sounds like they are. We're not animals, we're people. We can work things out.
But we are animals. We are. You're nothing but fear and instinct, and that's all I am, too. We don't have to make things better. We can't make things better. We're just meant to chase each other in the dark until one of us catches the other.
You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin. Ugh, we're never going to make something of ourselves with that attitude. At least she isn't going to make something of herself either. At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. But the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating, then unbearably tight, then that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you are hated. I hate you, and I'm glad to die horribly if it means you die with me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow, you sound bitter.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
We got cured. Chapter Triple, The Wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end, but something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge.
Wait. Where's the narrator?
His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that?
She is the Wilds.
That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
A lot.
I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
We pissed her off, then we got her cured.
Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking. There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing. And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is nice.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
I think we've all become trees, like we were literally part of a root and plant system.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
Boy, the Smitten would love this route. This thing, Jess, what is he?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you. That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
I've had enough of this guy. How do we stop him?
We push back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but presence isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls of this prison. There must be a way for us to be free from him.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that. I may not have been around to witness it, but clearly you remember what happened. How about you try remembering how it all felt?
Explore, remember how it felt. Turn inward and find your freedom. A glimpse of something
Fall
bigger.
inward, into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
We can change to fill them together.
We don't need to be everywhere at once, just in the right place at the right time. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal, some rifts can never be mended. Even in rebirth, some things never come back the same.
What are you implying, narrator?
What is he going on about? What does he know about us? You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless. Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
There's a place you need to be. You just need to find it.
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. He wouldn't be trying to discourage us if that were true. That's right, I know a loser when I see one. Call his bluff.
Are you implying something opportunist? Because
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
I trust you. Find the way out.
You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it.
But you do find something. It's cold and smooth, and gently buckles and cracks under the pressure of your consciousness flattening against it.
Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature so you can expand just that much further. Stop all of this. Right now. I think it's too late for that, mate.
I'm at your side. Shatter it and free us all.
Shatter the cage.
No, stop!
Wait, what? But his pleas disappear at the sound of breaking glass. For a moment, you and she gaze for the tiniest hole in the world the place you need to be.
We found it. I knew it. I knew there was something he was keeping from us. Is that really all it took?
There's color!
Job well done, team. Just like I'd planned.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful.
I think this route's gone down a very weird way. And then it's gone.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
The hands. You never get the chance to answer her. You turn to see her gone behind you. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's gonna be okay.
It feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. It's calling us. And not in a good way. If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
I'll see you on the other side. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. Can we trust you? Finally. We're going places.
Approach the mirror. Skip for this. What's the form? What is the form that they grabbed? What
There's a
the?
world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know it will find out?
This is very abstract. Do you have thoughts on this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for.
So why did the, it seemed like the narrator was trying to stop us from looking at what was behind everything, the color. Huh.
The
Gonna
next
go
time
back.
I see you, I will be here.
Thing goes dark and you die. Got an endless vessel. Bring the networked wild.
You're on a path.
Okay, you, narrator, how do I stop
You
her?
can start by remembering that you exist, and not as some part of a Gestalt entity formed with the princess. You exist as your own self, complete with your own physical body separate from hers. I'm not so sure about that. We were something like that once, but now? And if thinking about that isn't enough to startle you back to reality, consider this. She committed a murder-suicide using a living cabin. Right, that was unpleasant. We weren't big fans of that, I think.
I don't know, I thought that was pretty metal.
I'm sure I would have had us do the same thing if we were in her shoes. We really do make a great pair. He's probably just jealous.
You sure you're not the spinning?
You need to remember that you and the princess are enemies. Don't let bygones be bygones. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Calm down, trees.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Everyone's pulling in different directions, but that feeling doesn't have a motive, it just exists. Maybe we should look at it.
Buried now before it's too late. Gaze at the hatred in your heart.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me. What were we thinking? Giving into absolute madness. We exist. We're real. We're separate from her. Of course we are. What are we? I can't remember. I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. And you can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better. Finally, I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
See, this is what you call a nasty divorce.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were.
The cabin.
A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole.
And I just got ate by a cabin.
And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be.
This is almost like two separate routes in one.
At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
I don't like this. What he wants us to do, it's just cruel. It feels like we'd be killing a part of ourselves.
Be quiet, Paranoid. You're making sense.
Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill. Do we have to do this? You have to. You know you have to.
You can cut her free? I never really wanted to kill you, not really, but we can't be the same thing as each other. I have to put an end to whatever happened to us. Cut her free.
Devious little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. He's not in our head anymore, at least not like before. I don't think he can stop us now. I'm not bluffing. You won't be so smug when it happens.
Be quiet, narrator. You're useless to us.
He's weak. Thinks he can boss us around when he doesn't have any authority. We're clearly the ones with authority around here, so we can do whatever we like. You're tired, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm... fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. Good luck getting her out of here.
This is a little weird.
I didn't think you would do that after everything. It's so cold without you.
You don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
It's kind of a weird one. What are your thoughts on this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart.
Pretty much the same dialogue.
Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark and you die. A wounded vessel.
You're on.
Slay the princess.
You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
Now, if you see censorship here at all, there's a reason for that, probably. That means, that's based on what happened in the last episode, I'm assuming, like, yeah, maybe YouTube's watching this series closely. I've actually heard from my peers that YouTube right now is actually watching things closely, like they've been getting hit for stuff. There is a kind of a YouTuber Discord I'm part of.
I'm sorry.
It's probably the same as the other vessel. If you never see her die, it's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Without hesitation, the wound drives her to the ground. Okay. There's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
Yes.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you.
Except, you know, everything.
I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
Give her everything you've got. Slay the princess.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
Give up? Or finish the job. Give up.
Are you serious? As what's left of your blood pools around you on the cobblestone floor, the blade falls from your trembling hands and clatters uselessly against the ground. I suppose you simply lacked the will to finish the job. The princess, wounded but still alive, nervously jumps at the blade and kicks it far away from you before retreating into a dark corner of the room. Her shining eyes watch you from the darkness, unblinking and curious as you bleed out. We can only hope the wounds you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, they'll kill her before she can reach the outside world.
Narrator, you're like full of lies.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
This is the end, isn't it? Before you can answer, everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2. The Beast. The Beast.
You're on a path in the woods.
And then at the
And
end
at
of
the
that
end of that
path
path is a
is a
cabin.
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
You're here to slay her.
If you
If you
don't,
don't, it will
be the end of the world. She's gonna kill me again!
Again? People don't die twice.
You've never met Emi
I haven't
Oshiro.
even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself.
Nope.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened, then something else must have trapped us here. You're not trapped here. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, though the only sensible thing for you to do right now is march up to that cabin and slay the princess.
Is it something like telling the truth and all this really did happen?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We did our best with the information we were given, and yet you still died, didn't you? So, great, congratulations, you've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Deja vu.
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? All the more reason to keep our wits about us, should we even return to the cabin. We could find a safe little hole somewhere instead.
So the voice of the hunt is just basically the voice of the cowardly?
You have to go
Dog.
to the cabin. If you don't slay the princess, she's going to end the world, which you're always going to be a part of, even if you're cowering in a hole. There's no escaping your responsibility here.
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning.
Before you go any further,
she will lie, she will cheat, and she
do
will
everything
do
in her
everything
power to stop you from slaying her.
Don't
believe a word she says.
Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature? I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell.
And at some point you're gonna say clever girl.
That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I like the subtle thing about that, where it's just, you don't really notice anything too crazy going on, but it's termites are in it. There's a kind of a dilapidated, wild aspect to that. It's just subtle.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Approach the mirror, take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. Maybe he doesn't see it. Much like he hasn't seen what's already happened.
I don't want to look at myself to see how handsome I am.
We shouldn't waste time preening. But if he is lying about the mirror, it might be important. Or it's dangerous. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. I wonder why. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
You know, all those jungles, how awful they are.
She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
Yeah, I smell good. Like vanilla. Yeah, vanilla.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere.
Like right
You see
there?
only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
It worked just fine last time.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Where? Don't you hear that clinking? She's enchanting and refined. Don't have to kill each other, you know that, right? Move.
You lunge to the side,
Whoa!
taking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink,
She had
she's
wings?
gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
Clever girl.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs. So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
What do you want? Might have to kill each other. Stop hiding and show yourself. Let's go with this one. Actually, this is kind of interesting.
You cannot reason your way out of this, fledgling. There's no compromise with what I am.
At least she's upfront about her intentions.
What do you want?
I want to swallow you whole, and I will get what I want. You have no exit. You have no hope. You live and die by my whims, and my whims alone.
Don't ask her what she wants, just slay her. Is that all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. Some specifics would be very helpful. She's just a princess. Don't overthink it.
She has wings and a giant tail.
She is clearly not. She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive, if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
How exactly are we supposed to take back the momentum here? Wait for a strike and hit her back. Survive. Play dead. Stand still. I'm curious. Play dead.
We're playing dead. It's unexpected. It could work. As the princess lunges from the shadows once more, you collapse to the ground, feigning death. She lands directly on top of you with her full weight, nearly crushing you into the dirt, but then... silence. Only broken by the sound of your beating heart. It actually worked, didn't it? Only, what do we do to make her leave? Do we just keep playing dead. She sniffs at you, shifting her weight uncomfortably as her face finds yours. Her breaths are hot and oppressive against your skin.
It's getting a little weird.
Have you seen my great big eyes? Because they see you, fledgling. They see your heartbeat pulsing in your throat.
Move, now! But it's too late for you to move. Her jaw unhinges, and she swallows you whole. I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it.
Wait, no, you mean...
You are
You
in a
mean,
dark
wait,
and
no,
caustic
no,
place.
no!
A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time. The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
There's some interesting lore stuff kind of going on here.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
Can you talk to the cabin?
I understand it, and it understands me. Talking is for those who don't know how to listen.
You could have asked me before swallowing me alive.
I acted on my will, fledgling, and you acted on yours. The strong triumph, and the weak submit or perish.
The weak should fear the strong.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slough from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
I don't think we can talk our way out of this. We are drowning in death. There's no more space for words.
You need me to want to free you, don't you? You can't force me to let you out of here.
Every creature craves freedom. You will too before you die.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slough from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
I don't think we can... We are drowning.
You can leave, just let me go. Fine, you can leave.
Oh, can I?
The click of what you presume to be a door ripples through the layers of suffocating flesh.
Interesting. So I am the lock, literally.
That wasn't so hard.
You feel her take another massive step, and then another, and then... And then it's gone quiet, hasn't it?
You feel it churning in the forms around you. Then a wet tunneling before you're ejected to a place that is nowhere at all. The hands grabbed her, didn't they?
I guess I don't need you to be a part of me. How lucky for you.
God, you look kinda bizarre.
This place is cold.
Before you can say anything to her, she's gone. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Approach the mirror. It's gonna be okay. Just trust
It
me.
feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. That thing reeks of death.
Approach the mirror. You're at the cabin.
There's a world beyond the endless walls.
Skip ahead. Thoughts on this vessel?
This one is consumed by instinct. A predator pushing those around her to adapt. She will make for a bold heart. She wishes me to devour you, to make you a part of myself. But she is only a voice.
A little odd.
Do not mourn her, for she is part of something greater.
I'm ready to go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark and you die. A feral vessel.
You're on a path in the woods.
I have my steel claw. I could use it to hurt you.
You threaten me, but you don't act.
See me out.
I'm so very, very patient. If it takes lives and lives and lives to swallow my way to freedom, then that is what I'll do.
Your body is violently jostled. The disruption. But will can never truly exceed the limits of the flesh. Your vision finally begins to blur, your eyes clouding over as they melt in their sockets. What little air remains in this rancid stew of flesh and slippery organs is finally too foul to breathe, and your lungs mercifully give out before you have to suffer another burning, liquefying moment. Everything goes dark, and you die.
So dying in Cyber takes you to the wild again. Dig with the steel claw.
Though you have little room to move, you use what strength you can muster to drive the blade forward into the thick walls of tissue digesting you.
I can feel you tearing through me, but are you swift enough for it to matter?
Your body is violently jostled.
The cave.
Dig with the steel claw.
You slice again, deeper, rooting through her meat with the tip of your blade, until at last it finds her beating heart. The pulling his hands to bang.
You can't hold.
Slay the princess.
Though your body is dissolving, eroding into unrecognizable shapes, your will drives it forward. You have a target, and you will strike it. We're too late, aren't we? This isn't survival. This is spite.
Yes.
No, it's something better. It's fulfilling a noble destiny. Your lone, functioning arm lashes out, stabbing up towards the princess's heart.
So you found a way to kill me. Then we'll die together, and I will see you again soon.
With those prophetic words, you do not draw another breath, your body tangled and melting in the cooling folds of the princess's flesh. Everything goes dark, and you die. But at least you've saved the world. I hope.
No. Nope, not at all. Oh, it's the wild again. Let's come back here. Survive.
Spring into the jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
I don't know if I can keep this up. But why do you want to kill me? Stop hiding and show yourself.
If you want to see me, you should get better at seeing.
She knows that her strength lies in shadows and secrets. She won't reveal herself unless she has to.
Maybe run for the stairs? You're deflecting.
And you bear your weakness to the world.
A tickling sensation rises at the base of your neck. Flee, can't keep doing this.
Stay alive, run for the stairs. Wait for a strike and hit her back?
This isn't going to work. We're in her domain. We just have to stay alive. If we keep dodging her forever, we're going to get tired. We're going to slip up. We have to take a risk. As the princess lunges from the shadows once more, you tighten her grip on the blade and lash out. It strikes, cutting deep, and the princess loses her focus, crying out in pained surprise as she crashes into you. You're sent sprawling, and can already feel the massive bruise blossoming on your ribs as she scrambles back into the darkness. Ha! Look at that! We wounded her, and she wounded us. Bad trade.
That hurt. Are you just the cornered animal you seem to be? Or could you be a rival?
She rears back, then leaps at you, more forceful, more ferocious, more serious. The scuffle is brief, and though you inflict a few deep wounds, you find yourself quickly overwhelmed by her savagery. You collapse to the floor, and she wastes no time before pouncing on you in a flurry of claws and blood, your nerves barely able to keep up with the onslaught. By the end, you're lying in a nest of your own intestines, spine severed, blood rapidly draining out onto the jungle floor. The princess, drenched in both her blood and yours, idly prods your body.
No, that's it then. Cornered animal it was. Do better next time. I still need to devour you. And it doesn't count if you're dead.
This kind of feels like a reincarnation Power Isekai anime.
We're not dead, we're... But you don't have time to protest her premature observation of your death, because everything goes dark, and you die.
Yep, no, turns out you're dead. Chapter Triple, The Den.
You're on a path in the
You mean the jungle.
We are, and this time we're not gonna run until we die. We're taking her head on and we're winning.
You felt her. She didn't have a soft underbelly, she didn't have blind spots. What could we have done that would have saved us from her hunger?
When someone tries to make you dead, you have to hit them back. You have to show them your authority. There's nothing worse than a bully that thinks they own you.
Let's get in there and KO that princess.
Great, so you've been here before. That doesn't bode well. You're not supposed to have been here before. This is supposed to be one and done.
Perhaps you're a pathetic person, narrator. Now we're gonna get it done, properly.
Oh, shut up. It bodes fine. You're the reason we're stuck in this shit situation. Now I have to do the hard work of dragging us out.
Listen to the stubborn. Now that's a real man.
And how do you intend to do that?
By slaying her.
We're going to fight her, and we're going to win. There's a reason she slinks around in the shadows.
Well, no complaints here. Now hold on. We're not just gonna let the fact that he knows things about this whole Lupin situation go, are we?
He's not important. He can have his secrets for all I care. She's killed us twice now, and that's enough of a reason for us to want her dead.
Okay, what's the plan?
Like I said, we're going to fight her.
And?
But we're so small.
We don't actually know how big she is. We just know she wants us to think she's big. And if she's going to treat us like prey again, then she is sorely underestimating us. One good wallop. That's all we need to put her on the defensive.
Path is different than it was before.
Ground is ground. It doesn't matter what shape it takes. We'll adapt. If it looks different, that's because the situation has started to spiral out of everyone's control. So please, disavow yourself of the notion that you can just come back here and fix this place if you manage to make a mess before that line of thinking leaves you yet another world in ruin. Though, as evidenced by you dying twice, it's safe to assume the fates of the worlds you've left behind don't concern you very much.
I do like how the main soundtrack it shifts with every route. Like, you know, like here right now, it's a little drum-like.
Consider this your last opportunity to make things right. For you and for the rest of existence. But especially for you.
We don't need your pep talk. I'll make sure we pull this off.
I want answers. What is going on here? What do you know you're not telling me?
I've told you as much as I can without putting you at a disadvantage. If anything, I've told you too much. Like that grumbling voice said just a moment ago, you've already died by her hands twice. You shouldn't need much else in the way of motivation.
What if we just leave? What happens then? No, that just leads the option for you to, like, run away. Mirror, what happens next? Seems like all our answers are in the cabin. Let's see this through. Proceed.
You make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. You know what to do.
That's a bit different.
We've already been over the plan.
Yeah, just attack her.
I'm not sure that use violence counts as a plan.
Of course it's a plan.
It's a better plan than you had last time.
I don't like this, but I'll try to keep us breathing.
Proceed to the cabin.
The interior is dark and overgrown. Vines and brush obscure so much of the place that, had you not seen the exterior, you might not have noticed this was a cabin at all. The only furniture of note, if you could call it that, is a knotted stump, a pristine blade embedded in its exposed rings. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right.
Take it. We're not fighting a monster without a blade. Even if it's not a very big one.
Great. That mirror's back. And it's where the door is supposed to be. What are you talking about? There is no mirror. It's just the stump and a narrow tunnel that leads to the basement. He isn't tricking us. Can you feel the wind? It's telling us there's a hole in that wall. Our eyes deceive us.
If that mirror's blocking our way, just smash it and be done with it.
Take the blade.
Yes, take the steel claw. You pull the blade from the stump, gripping it tight. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Good. One step closer to ending this.
Approach the mirror.
You step forward, approaching the small hole that leads to the basement, hesitating before you enter the princess's lair.
You heard him. Stop hesitating and smash that antique.
That mirror isn't part of this place. It's seeped through from somewhere else. It, if there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you said, you've been here twice before. Your mind was bound to start playing tricks on you eventually. It went away after we reached out to it last time. Might as well try wiping it clean again. What's the harm?
Wait, we can smash it. Smash it, that's a unique option for once.
You bring your fist crashing down into the open hole leading to the basement, throwing yourself off balance and tumbling headlong into the pitch black.
Oops.
If there were once stairs leading into the basement, there is nothing left to attest to their existence now. There is only a long tunnel of packed earth, growing more narrow as you descend. It smells of mold and decay. The damp walls leave streaks of dirt along your body as you're forced to hunch, then finally squat down on all fours in order to continue. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. As you crawl forward on hands and knees, you're met only with the sounds of ambient earth. No voice slinks confidently up the stairs, no entity threatens violence or pleads for safety. Stay quiet. Don't give her a sound.
Probably should listen to the hunted. Why, we don't have to fight, say nothing, and silently proceed down the stairs.
You say nothing, maintaining the silence as you carefully make your way down into the basement. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed.
It doesn't matter if we can't see down here. We know where she is.
Staying quiet, are we? Know how to do this? Step into the shadows, ready to fight.
You step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes wide despite the inky blackness, waiting for any sign of movement. There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows.
She's basically just some, like, chimera.
Victory, swinging your blade, its tip intercepting her before she can draw first blood. She recoils, stunned for a brief moment.
See? I told you. We needed to assert our might. We needed to prove to her that she can bleed too. She'll doubt her every move now.
You don't have long before she lunges again, re-engaging with even more ferocity than before. But that voice in your head wasn't wrong. Within that ferocity, there is also hesitation. Not much, but enough. Not a word is spoken between you and the princess as you exchange blows in the dark. The glint of bloody claws and fangs, the flash of wet steel. In the pit, all of your senses are heightened, each injury stinging like a chorus of insects, each small shift in your favor a major victory that swells your heart. And then it all reaches a climax.
Wow, violence really does just work.
And
Oh, really? He doesn't respond. Eyes glance at you from the untextured threads of a world unraveled. Am I free, they ask. My prey! Just when it was getting good. You do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
she's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. The thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Approach the mirror. You're at the cabin.
There's a world beyond the endless wall.
Do you know what's gonna happen? Or here it is. Your thoughts on the vessel.
This one is consumed by instinct. A predator pushing those around her to adapt. She will make for a bold heart.
Yeah, it's just a higher evolution of the predator. We're gonna go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
Apparently this is you.
I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark and you die. A wordless vessel.
You're on a path in the wood.
You have to find ready to lead you out.
Princess leaves your remark unanswered. See? She knows. We have to be like her. Focused. Present. Patient.
We're past the point of words anyway. This is a conversation that can only be had with hard steel and sharp teeth.
You put the voices to the back of your mind and proceed down the stairs. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed.
It doesn't matter if we can't see down here, we know where she is. It'll be buried by blade, but we'll make do. Step into the shadows and try to lure her out.
You step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes wide despite the inky blackness, waiting for any sign of movement.
What? You're gonna turn around the second she runs for us? You'll get us killed, you pathetic fool.
There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. But you've already started your swift escape.
Ah yes, the JoJo technique.
Stop it! Fight her!
No, we gotta run.
The conflict in your heart, though usually of little consequence, slows you down just enough. You don't make it into the tunnel before you feel her hot breath at your back, rushing up your spine and closing in on your neck as her teeth press into your skin. Death. Again.
Hands just grabbed her before she finished me. But death doesn't come. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone.
So that was it for the Witch and the Beast routes. So we essentially have 5 more main route branches or so. But some of those are going to go a little bit faster because I think we've seen maybe a couple of the shared routes. And it's about, we could get about 2 routes done per video before the video gets a little bit too long. And then we don't know how long the endings are, how many they are, so it's probably going to be at least 2 more core videos and then 1 finale video, which will have the last route we decide to bank with us for the ending. So about 3 more videos. Should be about 3 days to kind of get it out. Maybe a little more, because I do have to also play other games and stuff that as they release. But we'll have this playthrough on its way to its not 100% completion, because obviously we're not getting every single dialogue, but we're getting the core of the differences. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.